Stop and listen, because what is being revealed to you right now is not ordinary, and it is not random. Archangel Michael stands as a witness over this moment, and the message is simple but weighty. Something important is happening behind your back right now. Not later, not someday, right now. While you have been waiting, wondering, praying, and perhaps even fighting discouragement, there have been movements in places you cannot see, decisions being weighed in hidden chambers, and lines being drawn on the road ahead of you. You may have felt overlooked, but heaven has not overlooked you. You may have thought silence meant nothing was happening, but silence has been hiding activity. Keep reading carefully, because the next revelation changes everything. Comment ready if your spirit already feels the shift. There are moments when the human eye sees delay, but the spirit sees construction. That is what has been happening around you. What looked like nothing has actually been preparation. What felt like rejection has been redirection. What felt like being passed over has been protection. And yes, there is something else you need to know. Some of the very people who thought they were deciding against you have been helping fulfill the route toward your destiny without realizing it. Heaven is so far ahead that even resistance is being used as a tool. Do not ignore this part. The unseen is not empty. It is crowded with timing, purpose, and divine choreography. Type Amen if you know God can move through what people meant for harm. Right now, behind your back, conversations are happening that you were never invited to hear. A name is being mentioned. An opportunity is being weighed. A door that seemed sealed is being touched by unseen hands. There is a hidden decision already in motion, and it involves more than one person, more than one detail, and more than one outcome. This is why your spirit has been restless. You have sensed that something was close, yet you could not name it. You were right to feel that way. The atmosphere around you has been shifting while you were busy surviving the day. And still, there is another truth being revealed. What is being arranged behind the scenes is not only about provision, it is about position. Before long, you will understand why certain delays had to happen. Comment God is working if you believe the unseen is not silent. There is a watchtower above the valley you have been walking through, and from that height, heaven sees what you could not see from the ground. Michael stands in that place of watch, and his message is not to fear, but to remain alert. He is saying that hidden forces have been circling, but they have not been given the final word. Keep your eyes on the horizon, because there is movement there, and it is closer than you think. Something is approaching that will answer questions you have carried for too long. It may come through a conversation, a letter, a call, or a sudden opening, but the timing will reveal that it had already been forming when you least expected it. Do not leave now. The story is unfolding in layers. Type 1 believe if you sense that a new season is already beginning. You have spent nights asking God why certain things did not happen when you expected them to happen. You have replayed old disappointments, wondering if you missed something, wondering if you were forgotten, wondering if the promise was ever real. But heaven says no, you were not forgotten, and the promise was never canceled. Something important has been happening behind your back precisely because heaven has been guarding you from premature exposure. If you had seen the full picture too soon, you might have stepped into the wrong room, trusted the wrong voice, or settled for a smaller outcome than what was prepared for you. Protection often looks like delay until the right hour arrives, and the right hour is moving toward you now. Type protected if you can feel divine covering in the waiting. Listen closely, because there are hidden allies around you. Not everyone has been against you, even if it looked that way. There have been people quietly speaking your name in rooms you never entered. There have been hearts softened on your behalf, and doors nudged open by hands you may never know this side of heaven. Do not assume the whole story is visible yet. Some support has been secret because if it had been public too early, opposition would have tried to crush it before it matured. That is why this season has felt so strange. Things were happening under the surface. Seeds were being watered in secret soil. Roads were being surveyed. A path was being cleared toward a destination you have not yet reached. Comment blessed if you believe hidden favor is already on the move. Before we continue, I feel led to share something with you. Over the years, thousands of people have reached out asking for powerful prayers they could pray during difficult seasons of life. That's why I put together a collection of some of the most powerful faith-building prayers I know. These prayers have helped people find peace during anxiety, strength during hardship, and hope when they felt like giving up. The best part is that I decided to make it completely free. If you would like a copy, simply check the link in the description and I'll send it to you. Do not wait until another difficult season arrives. Take it now while it's available and keep it close for the days ahead. Now there is something else you need to know. While heaven has been arranging, your enemy has been assuming. The fear you battled was meant to make you stop looking forward. The confusion was meant to make you distrust the process. The heaviness was meant to make you believe the silence was final. Yet none of that was true. Behind your back, the ground beneath your future has been shifting in your favor. A closed chapter is no longer as closed as it seemed. A locked gate has been examined. A missed opportunity is being reconsidered. And the most surprising part is this. The very thing that looked like the end of the road was actually the crossing point where two destinies meet. Stay until the end, because the convergence matters. There are heavenly records and nothing about your life is unnoticed there. The scrolls do not record your pain as wasted. They do not record your tears as insignificant. They do not record your obedience as small. The courts of heaven have been reviewing what was spoken over you and what was taken from you, and a verdict is forming that will astonish people who thought your story had already been written. This is why your spirit keeps sensing that a return is coming, something you thought was lost, something you thought would never be restored. Keep reading. The restoration is not only emotional, it is strategic. It changes your position. It changes your influence. It changes the way people will have to see what God has done. Type 777 if you believe heaven is marking this hour. Maybe you have felt like you were standing at a crossroads, unable to tell which road was the one God had chosen. You looked left and saw uncertainty. You looked right and saw delay. You looked behind you and saw pain. But what you could not see was that the roads were already converging. The journey was never meant to remain scattered. What seemed like unrelated detours are being woven into one destination. That is the mystery unfolding now. You will soon understand why certain places, certain people, and certain disappointments all seem to circle back to the same point. Heaven has been drawing lines you could not trace, and at the appointed hour, those lines will become a path. Comment "My time is coming" if you know the intersection is near. The pressure you felt was real, but it was not proof that you were abandoned. It was proof that something mattered. The enemy does not waste effort on what carries no destiny. If your path has been attacked, it is because your path has value. If your heart has been tired, it is because your future has weight. If your mind has been flooded with doubt, it is because a door is near and your adversary knows it. Yet Michael's warning is not only about danger, it is about vigilance. Stay awake to what is forming. Do not let your weariness blind you to divine movement. There is a shift approaching that will expose what was hidden and validate what you carried in secret. Type faith if you will not let fear narrate your next chapter. Some of what is happening behind your back is deeply personal. A phone call may be delayed so that it arrives at exactly the right moment. An apology may be forming in a heart that once hardened against you. A pathway to promotion may be opening in silence before your name is ever announced. These things often begin invisibly. That is why patience becomes sacred. Heaven is not merely giving you something. Heaven is preparing you to recognize it when it arrives. Do not skip over this. The blessing is not only in the breakthrough itself, but in the wisdom to receive it without shrinking. And there is more. One of the reasons the season has felt so heavy is because your endurance has been strengthening your capacity. Before long, you will understand why you had to grow before the answer could be delivered. Comment still standing if you are still here and still believing. There is a hidden chamber in the spirit where God's timing is never late, never rushed, never confused. In that chamber, the pieces of your story are being aligned with precision. What you called a delay was heaven holding certain things in place until the right alignment could be achieved. What you called a loss may become the exact testimony that proves God's hand was over you all along. And yes, there is another truth being revealed. Some of the tension you felt was not about you failing, but about you being near a boundary line where old assignments end and new assignments begin. That boundary can feel uncomfortable. It can feel like loss. But it is often the threshold of promotion. Stay with this message. Something important is happening behind your back, and the outcome is more favorable than you imagined. Type 1 Receive if you are ready to step into what has been prepared. Many people watching this message have been carrying burdens they never talk about. If that sounds like you, I want to give you something special. I created a free prayer guide filled with powerful prayers for protection, breakthrough, peace, healing, and strength. Thousands of believers have already downloaded it and shared how much it encouraged them during difficult moments. There is absolutely no cost. I simply wanted to place this resource into the hands of people who need it most. If you feel led, go to the description and claim your free copy before continuing. One prayer prayed at the right moment can change more than you realize. Now listen carefully because the next part of this message is important. Not all battles are loud. Some are fought in whispers, in unseen rooms, in the hearts of people who have not yet made their decision known. That is why you cannot measure the truth of your season only by what you hear in the natural. Heaven has been speaking in layers. Watch closely, because before long a remark will be made, and it will confirm that something has already shifted. A person who once seemed distant may suddenly become aware of you again. A pathway you stopped considering may reappear with clarity. A piece of news may arrive that seems small at first, but it will unlock a larger door later. Do not dismiss the small signs. They are often the first footsteps of a miracle. Comment blessed if you believe God still uses quiet beginnings. There is also a reason your heart has been so sensitive lately. You have been sensing what others have not said. You have been feeling an atmosphere before names were attached to it. That sensitivity is not weakness, it is discernment. Heaven has trained your spirit to detect movement before it becomes visible. So when you felt that something was happening behind your back, you were not imagining it. You were perceiving. The question is not whether something is happening. The question is whether you are ready to see it through heaven's eyes. Because if you look only with suspicion, you will miss the blessing hidden inside the mystery. But if you look with faith, you will see that even the hidden thing has been working toward your good. Type yes, Lord, if you choose faith over fear. The enemy often tries to steal confidence by planting the thought that everyone else is advancing while you remain stuck. But that is not your testimony. Your path has been under divine construction, and construction is noisy in one place and silent in another. You have heard the noise of disruption, but heaven has been working in the silence. There are foundations being laid that will support what comes next. And this foundation is deeper than what people can celebrate on the surface. It is spiritual maturity. It is hidden endurance. It is the ability to remain faithful without applause. That is why the timing matters so much. When the visible breakthrough comes, it will rest on all the unseen strength you have been building. Keep reading carefully, because the foundation is almost complete. Type 333 if you believe order is being restored. Something unexpected is approaching, and it has been moving toward you through circumstances that looked unrelated. A conversation between others may soon become the very thing that works in your favor. A decision made without consulting you may eventually open a door you thought had been shut forever. A person who once overlooked you may suddenly be part of your recognition. This is the strange justice of divine timing. What was hidden can become unavoidable. What was delayed can become accelerated. What was questioned can become undeniable. Do not leave now because the revelation is not finished. The hidden movement is nearing the surface, and when it emerges, it will make sense why you had to wait through so much uncertainty. Comment ready if you are ready for heaven's timing, not human timing. At this point, the message becomes even more personal. You are not just waiting for something. You are being prepared for recognition. Heaven sees the places where you were faithful when no one clapped, where you kept praying when no one encouraged, where you kept moving when your strength was low. That kind of hidden perseverance is never wasted. It becomes a crown later, and the crown is not only honor, it is responsibility, authority, and visible confirmation that God has not abandoned his work in you. There are moments ahead when people will finally understand what you survived. They will finally see why you could not quit. They will finally realize that what was happening behind your back was not a threat to your destiny, but part of how your destiny was guarded. Comment "I trust God" if you are learning to trust the unseen process. Now the atmosphere begins to shift toward revelation. The secret conversations will not stay secret forever. The closed doors will not stay closed forever. The resistance will not remain invisible forever. One way or another, what has been happening behind your back will come to light, and when it does, you will not feel crushed by it. You will feel confirmed by it. That is because heaven has been teaching you how to carry truth without panic. There is a peace forming under your feet right now, and that peace will hold when the news comes. The coming days will reveal that God was arranging more than you knew, and some of the best developments will come from the very places you once doubted. Keep your heart open. A breakthrough is approaching, and it will not arrive empty-handed. So do not interpret the hidden as hopeless. Do not interpret the quiet as absence. Do not interpret the pause as rejection. Heaven has been moving in your behalf, and Archangel Michael's warning is also a comfort. You are not being left alone in this unseen battle. Protection surrounds you. Direction is being established. Help is already closer than it appears. The moment is nearing when you will look back and realize that what was happening behind your back was the preparation of your answer, the securing of your path, and the unfolding of your next open door. Stay until the end of this season. The roads are converging. The scroll is opening. The timing is aligning. And before this season ends, you will know why heaven kept you waiting. Type Amen if you receive this word with expectation. Before you leave, remember that my free prayer collection is waiting for you in the description below. Thousands of people have already downloaded it and used these prayers during seasons of anxiety, uncertainty, spiritual battles, and breakthrough. I made it completely free because I want every believer to have access to powerful prayers when they need them most. If this message encouraged you today, make sure you claim your free copy before you go. And if this message spoke to your heart, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and leave your prayer request in the comments so this community can stand with you in faith. May God bless you, strengthen you, and guide every step ahead.